Alright, this is going to be another video on modes. Even musicians tend to think that modes are some complicated concept, but it's best to think of modes as just an experience or a domain or a mini ecosystem. So you don't have to know everything that exists in the environment. You don't have to know the name of everything that exists in the environment to experience the environment. It's not necessary to label everything and know how everything works to experience an environment. But it is important to know where the environment starts and ends. You have to know the limitations of the environment. For example, if you are at the beach, you have a limit to how far out into the water you can go. Similarly, if you leave the sand area, you're no longer technically at the beach, and the further you get from the beach, the more the less of that beach feeling you have. So we can exit the mode, but we lose some of that environment feel. If we stay strictly in the domain of each environment, then we could say that we're playing in a mode. So notice how I describe the mode in terms that have nothing to do with music. This is how I want beginners to think of modes. And to just briefly show how to explore a mode, I just want to work on the white keys. And what I'm going to do is start on the key called E, and I'm going to create my domain, basically the limitations of my environment, and that's going to be between each E key and every white key in between. Right? So we're not going to use any black keys, but we want to make sure that we start and end on E. So we want to put together a set of artifacts in this domain. And a good way to do that is to we established our E, and then find the fifth. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 is going to be kind of our pivot point. And we could create a bass line like this. And now we want to create artifacts, which are basically little ideas that are based off our E. So we just created one little artifact, and that was okay. Let's create another one. Okay, that was a two-parter. That was an artifact, but it had two different parts, slightly different, and it went like this. Okay, it was a little different than that, but you could see that it was twice as long and kind of had a different two different parts to it. Let's create one more artifact, and then we'll put all three together into our what we want to call a description of our experience in that environment. So we'll create one more. Okay, sounds a little exotic. So now let's take our 3 artifacts and create a description of this environment with that. So we took those 3 ideas, which I called artifacts, we put them together, rearranged them, and now we kind of have a picture of our environment. And that is what modes are. They evoke an emotion, and it's not about the theory involved. When you hear a mode, you're not thinking of the relationships between the notes, the note names, the theory, or why they do that. You're just thinking of that experience. So that's what I want you guys to take away.